So the sponsor of today's video is Skillshare, and this is really great timing because this will get you your introduction into Python for my upcoming videos, where I'll be teaching you how to create your own AI or train your own AI and set up the environments in order to get cracking at it. Now you will need some basic Python in order to get going, creating your reward systems once I start the tutorial. And not only that, the first 1,000 signups that use the links below will get a free premium membership, and that will open you to so many other classes. You have so many things to go through. We have web development, applied control systems for engineering, PID controllers, so many crazy cool things, social media stuff, photography things that I'm just barely scratching the surface. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Eachine Shadow Fiend. This basically fits into the LR class of quadcopters, which is called the long range, being pretty light and being able to fly for quite a long time, especially with the 18650. So I've been flying this for the past couple days now, and I'm ready to give in my verdict on this. Now, first of all, let's start with the execution here, and we'll talk about the flight characteristics as we go along. The execution is much cleaner than the LOL 3 V2 that I've recently reviewed. I don't know if I'm going to release this video first or that video first, but the execution, it gets a really great job into that. And that's a nice thing to see because the other one, it was very terrible. So it just seems like they're going to a different manufacturer to make these. Now the overall frame is a one-piece bottom plate. It does have some flex, but not too much. So that's kind of good. Durability might be pretty decent, but really hard to say, to be honest. Now, if you take a closer look here, you see I'm missing a screw. Now, this is the case, and you need to keep this in mind. With any pre-built quadcopter from any company, double check every single screw. I didn't do that, and I lost one already. Now, usually some people would lose the motor screws, and then the motor would come off and just completely ruin everything. And that's something you don't want. So whenever you receive a pre-built quadcopter from any company, no matter what it is, always check the screws. It's really that important. You have no idea. You could wreck your whole thing if you do not. Now here we're looking at the Caddx Vista variant, and out of the box everything is pretty much set up for you, even the GPS and just about everything you need. I haven't tested the GPS stuff, but the lock seemed to be decent. I didn't notice any issues with it, but again, I didn't use the GPS that much, so that might come back to you there. All I did was just fly it around, see how well it performed, see the overall PID tune, if it did anything weird, give it punch outs here and there. And to be honest, at a flight characteristics of an LR, it would definitely get it 8.5 out of 10. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but a lot of people will just complain the fact that it's Eachine. Now, why do they do that? Well, because the customer service isn't the greatest, and we've all come to realize that and know that as well. Now, another thing I've also noticed is that the motors seem to be from a different manufacturer, probably a proper manufacturer, because usually some Eachine products will have some play in the motors, just about almost like, I don't know, 65% of them. So this one here doesn't have any play on the motors, so that tells me, or it gives me a probability that the motors are going to be pretty decent from a decent manufacturer. And they are 2750 kV 1404 here, and they're rocking 4-inch propellers. Now, in terms of flight time, I can't answer that, and the reason for that is because it's winter season and we're basically just hovering between -2 degrees Celsius and around 3 degrees. So the battery performance degrades quite dramatically, and that's going to be the case for the next month or two. So very difficult to say much into that perspective, but it seemed pretty efficient, and it seems like it's going to fly for at least more than 10 minutes or 12 minutes. So that I could kind of address here. Don't know for how long exactly, and again, that really varies on the battery, weather conditions, and other things as well, depending on what you're doing. How much, for example, how much you're outputting on your Caddx Vista can also affect that slightly. Now, as a cruiser, it just flies really great, and honestly, I really have nothing else to say other than let's just take a look at its weight, because its weight here is with the propellers and an XM Plus radio, which I have installed myself, is going to be 140 grams. Is that 40 or 48? 48 grams. So 148 grams with everything without a battery, basically. And that's about it, guys. So it flies great. It seems to be pretty efficient. Longevity, obviously, none of the YouTubers could really answer that, and it takes time for that to be answered. But you should be able to basically put any stack in here because everything is pretty generic or universal in a way. And we do have two 20x20 stacks, so if you ever wanted to do something else with it, you definitely can. And well, that's really it for this, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely check out Ask FPV. It's an application I've released for the FPV community where you can get help or help people, and you do get incentives or basically rewards if you do help enough people, and I give those out. And I've just released basically a donate system or a tipping system that you'll have this icon right below your name if you enable it, where people can just send you $1 or $2 on PayPal or whatever they want if you've helped them them out. So it's a really nice way to give back, and it goes direct between each other. And there's plenty of other features in there that you could find useful, such as a product searcher. So you can find any product you want. It'll check all the sites and give you the prices, so you could choose whatever you want. And you could even subscribe to a product. If the price drops, it'll actually notify you. So there's a lot of effort, a lot of time's gone into that. I want to make it the ultimate FPV toolkit, and soon there'll be more things implemented. So if you could support the channel, download it. There's no ads, no nothing. It's just completely self-hosted, basically. I just run everything myself and code everything myself. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.